Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this tutorial, we will learn very much and useful concept of Kubernetes that is called scheduler. Okay, what is the use of scheduler? That things we are going to learn today. Okay, so before going to discuss about the scheduler, okay, so if you revise it, when we have discussed the architecture of Kubernetes, where we found that worker node, okay, control plane nodes are there. So where scheduler was there, okay, and what was the use of that particular scheduler in that particular node? That things we are going to discuss today. Okay, so question is, in which situation we are going to use scheduler in our Kubernetes cluster? Okay, so one thing is very much clear that scheduler is the part of your worker node. Okay, so suppose you are running a Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and in that particular cluster you have multiple worker nodes are there. Okay, and your application is packed into pods. Okay, means your application is running inside your pods. Okay, but now the pod which is already running, okay, we need to decide where this pod need to be run. Okay, so someone need to tell that assign this particular pod to that particular right node in your cluster. Okay, so that particular thing which is deciding where we are going to schedule our pod, that is called your scheduler. Okay, so Kube scheduler, basically Kube scheduler is your default scheduler in your Kubernetes. Okay, so let me write it here also so that you will also be in the same page. Kube scheduler. This is your default scheduler. Okay, this is your first point which comes uh, with your Kubernetes. Okay, so now Kube scheduler comes with default scheduler. Okay, so Kubernetes comes with a default scheduler and that is called Kube scheduler that I already explained you. Okay, the scheduler plays a very key role to choose the right node for each pod. Okay, by taking care of all the condition. Okay, so which type of condition? Which type of condition Kubernetes scheduler will use to choose the right node for that particular pod. Okay, so that particular conditions are like resource requirements. Okay, which type of resources we are going to use that particular pod. Okay, so if you are going to schedule that particular pod, okay, so we need to also see if any tent or toleration are applied or not in your particular nodes or not, any node affinity is applied or not. Okay, node selectors are there or not. Okay, so these things we need to, you know, understand. Okay, so we will discuss everything here. Okay, so but suppose we have one pod and we want to schedule that particular pod inside any suitable node. Okay, but question is that on which basis we are going to schedule our pod to that particular node. Okay, so here we are doing two things. Okay, first of all, we are doing filtering. Based on filtering of the nodes, we are selecting that particular nodes. Once we will get filter, okay, after that we are providing ranking the nodes. Okay, let's take one example. Suppose we have one pod. Okay, so let's suppose this is your one pod. Okay, and that pod is having CPU 5 GB and RAM 5000 gigabyte. Okay, so now you need to schedule this particular pod, okay, to particular nodes. And currently, suppose we have five nodes are there. Okay, we have five nodes are there. Okay, so let me mark some name of that particular node. That is your node 1. Okay, let me change the, okay, and second node is your node 2. This is your node 3. This is your node 4, and this is your node 5. Okay, and this type of nodes having some their own configuration also, right? So suppose the node 1 having some capacity, okay, and suppose the CPU, maximum CPU he can gain, that is called 2 GB, okay, and RAM 500 GB gigabyte. Okay, let me copy this. Okay, and for the second node, suppose CPU maximum CPU utilization he can take 5 GB and the RAM is 2000 GB. Okay, so last the third one is your node 3, same 7 GB, and let's suppose maximum utilization this node can use 7000 gigabyte. The fourth one is your 5 GB and maximum number of RAM that particular node can utilize 5000 gigabyte, and the last one that is your called 10 GB and 10,000 gigabyte. Okay, so now tell me which particular node is best suitable for this particular pod. Okay, so first of all we need to do the filtering of that particular node. So we required this particular pod need to be scheduled on this five nodes. So let's choose which is the best node for this particular pod. So let's see the first one. The CPU utilization maximum he can utilize, that is your 2 GB, and we required at least 5 GB. Okay, so this particular node is not in our use. Okay, that is very much clear. Okay, let me change the color here. This particular node is not required. Okay, because their CPU utilization is 2 GB and we required at least 5 GB. Okay, so we are not going to check what type of RAM. Okay, configuration of that particular node 1 RAM. So let's go for node 2. Okay, serialization is 5 GB. Okay, but RAM is 2000 gigabyte. That is also not suitable for us. So we are removing from our filtering list. Next, let's move for node 3. You can see this RAM we required 5 GB for this particular node, and CPU 5 GB, and that is also good. We can use 5 GB here. RAM is also good. Okay, so we can, okay, put some, okay, for that we can schedule on this particular node 3. Let's go for next one, that is your 5 GB, and that is your 5000, that is also good. And let's go for node 5, that is also good. Okay, but now we have removed these two. Okay, we have removed this one. Now we have three options: node 3, node 5, node 3, node 4, and node 5. We need to choose which one is good for this particular pod. Okay, so currently we have filtered out that particular node which is not required to schedule our pod. So let's give the ranking of that particular node. So if you go the first one, okay, so that is good, we can schedule it here. Okay, so and this one is also good, we can schedule, and this one also. But if you choose this one, node 5, we can schedule two pods here. Okay, 5 GB and just double 10,000 GB. So we can put the one rank to that particular node, and that going forward for the node 4. Okay, this is very much accurate. Okay, that is also not good. Let's for this one, so let's give 2 number, and let's give 3 number of ranking. Okay, so I think it is very much clear that to assign our pod to that particular node, we need to do the filtering of that particular node. After once we did the filtering of that particular node, we need to put ranking of that particular nodes. Af- and then we need to choose which suitable node is best for our pod. Okay, so that is your concept of filtering and ranking of the node. If you are going to, you know, see the background how scheduler can schedule your pod to that particular node. Okay, how he is choosing that. Okay, so now the next concept is called, that is your call your uh, multiple scheduler. Okay, so what is the use of multiple scheduler? Okay, let's understand this multiple scheduler. What is this multiple scheduler first of all? So, okay, if the default scheduler, that is your cube scheduler, does not suits your need, you can implement your own scheduler. Okay, so but let me show you how your default scheduler looks like in your CMD. Okay, so the command is kubectl gets pod. Okay, so we need to check cube system namespace. Okay, okay, if you can see this, this pod is basically running in your cube system namespace. Okay, let me put get ns. Okay, okay, so in that cube system namespace, these pods are running, but we are not able to see that cube scheduler here. Okay, it means that that default scheduler that is called your queue scheduler is managed by fully managed by AWS only. Okay, that control plane component are managing by EKS. Okay, that's why we are not able to see it here. Okay. Now move it to our multiple scheduler concept. So if our default scheduler does not suit your needs, you can implement your own scheduler. Okay, that is clear. Okay, now we can even run multiple schedulers simultaneously. Okay, one by one we can run our scheduler along with our default scheduler also. Okay, and we can also instruct our Kubernetes that what scheduler, okay, you can use for your pods. Okay, we can simultaneously execute multiple scheduler along with your default scheduler. Okay, and your default scheduler, okay, runs as a static ports in your kube system. But here it already I have shown you it is not running in your kube system. Okay, so no ports is showing here as a kube scheduler. Okay, but we can also, create our uh, own custom scheduler also. Okay, now question is how we are going to create our own custom scheduler by own. Okay, so there are two ways. By using two ways we can create our own custom scheduler. Okay, we can create with the help of binaries also, or we can customize our YAML file of your default scheduler. Okay, to an and once we will customize your YAML file of your default scheduler, we can simply execute and we can run it. Okay, so let's to create our own custom scheduler. Okay, we can write our customized YAML file of default scheduler. So let's try to write our own YAML file. Okay, and let's try to run that particular customized scheduler. So how you are going to do this? Okay, so let me see if this will work or not, because our uh, uh, default scheduler is not reflecting here, so it will not, definitely it will not work here. But let's do here cube system. Okay, just I am showing you how you are going to write your own YAML file. Okay, With- okay, okay, so something is wrong here. Let me try to find out the issue first. Okay, so okay, so the kind is list metadata, no problem. After that, let's try to apply this. Okay, so we need to pass some object here inside your YAML file. After that, we need to apply. Okay, we can pass. Okay, but it will not work because it is not, file is not updated with your default scheduler. Okay, 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 so it is in pending stage. So just I'm telling you how you are going to schedule your pod with the help of your Cube scheduler, that is your default scheduler, but it is currently managing by AWS. So that's why we are not able to do this. No problem. Let's let's try to understand the next concept. Okay, and let me delete it. So it is deleted now. Pods. Okay. So now we are going to understand the concept of scheduler. Okay, that is I already shown you how you are going to understand your default scheduler concept. Now let's let's see which type of scheduler we can use in our real time. Okay, so let's move in your paint. Okay, scheduler overview. I already explained you that a scheduler basically watches your newly created pods that have no nodes are assigned. Okay, for every pod that the scheduler is discovered, the scheduler became responsible for finding the best node for that particular pod. Okay, now there are some scheduling principle. Okay, that particular scheduling principle. Okay, based on that particular principle, scheduler reaches this decision, okay, and schedule the pods to that particular nodes. Okay, so first one is your daemon set. Next one is your node selector. Third one is your node affinity, and the last one is your taint and toleration. So now let's discuss each and every scheduler concept one by one. So let's move for demand set. Okay, so the first one is your demand set. So I already cloned my GitHub repository here. So now I am inside our scheduler folder, and here if you cat this file, that is your called demand set.yaml file. Okay, so if you can see this, the kind here. Okay, so kind is here demand set. Okay, this your this YAML file where kind is demand set. So now I think audio is clear now. So I am explaining the concept of demand set and kind in my YAML file, that is your called demand set. So this tell Kubernetes that you are defining a demand set which ensure one pod run on every nodes. Okay, it means suppose if you have three nodes, okay, and if you have run this demand set, then the pod will run each and every nodes, means it will schedule on all three nodes, okay, of your cluster. So Kubernetes this demand set tells Kubernetes that you are defining a demand set which ensure one pod run on every nodes, okay, in your cluster. So now if you look it into that spec selector and spec template dot metadata level, okay, this one. So it is what it is saying that Here we are referring the name of our demand set, okay, that is called your test hyphen nginx, okay, and that is your container name, okay, and here this match level, that is your called app match level, that is called your app, this one. This match the pod managed by demand set. This level must match the pod level in the template.metadata.level sections. Okay. So if you try to execute this, okay, let me try to execute this first. And what about this port? Okay, the port, this exposes port 80880 inside the container. Okay, so the Nginx image by default listen on the port 80. So unless you have reconfigured the Nginx, it use the 8080 port. Okay, and this what is this request and response? This request the minimum resources Kubernetes reserved for this port that is defined. Okay, and the limits the maximum resources the port can use. The meaning of that limit is that. Okay, so basically it is ensuring that our pod is proper schedule and helps in the cluster capacity our planning also. Okay, and next is volume and that path. Okay, basically what we are doing here, we are mounting our host path in our container. Okay, basically it mounts the nodes slash proc slash directory into the container where slash host slash pod, and it is your read only. Okay, so basically this demand set where we are using this demand set concept where monitoring is required. Okay, suppose we have multiple nodes are there, okay, and I want capture the statics of each node. Okay, so what we can do, we can install the our monitoring agent as a demand set, and it will fetch that particular data from each node and it will show you. Okay, so basically demand set is another controller that manage the port like demand means deployment, replica set, stateful. It was created for one particular purpose. It is ensuring that the pod is means pod managed run on all cluster nodes. Okay, so pod is going to schedule in all available nodes. If you have three nodes, the same pod is going to schedule on all three nodes. Okay, let's try to see kubectl get pods. Okay, no pod is currently running. Let me apply kubectl get sorry, kubectl apply hyphen f, and let me run that YAML file. So now kubectl get nodes. Okay, two nodes are running here. kubectl get pods. Okay, now you can see this two pods are running. Okay, and if you run that hyphen o wide command here, now you can see this particular pod is running on this node, okay, and this node also. Got it? Here we haven't defined any replica set, but it is running on both two available nodes. Okay, no replica set is defined, right? So, but it is running on both particular nodes. I think it is clear the what is the daemon set. Okay, let me try to delete it. So let me ask you some question also so that it will be clear to you. So suppose if three nodes are running at my end, okay, three nodes are running at my end and I run a daemon set. So question is how many pods will be created here? Okay, how many pods will get created? If three nodes are running, then definitely three pods will get created here. Okay, so next question is in my daemon set, have we any replicas entries are there or not? Any replicas entries are there? No, because each node, each pod concept is there. If you define that your replica set entry, then only that particular pod will going to create. Okay, so here we are not defining any replica set entry inside your daemon set. Okay, so next question. After creating our daemon set, okay, if I increase the node count, suppose I increase the node count, will the number of pods created remain the same or it will increase automatically along the nodes? You are getting my question. Suppose two nodes are running here, okay, and suppose I have created one more node here, okay. So the pod number which is already running, it will get increased or not? The answer is if we if we will apply that YAML file, then only it will get increased, otherwise it will not going to increase here. Okay, that is, I think it is very much clear. Let's move for next scheduler, that is called your node selector. First of all, let me delete this kubectl, delete -f, then daemon set. Now there should no pod will run here. kubectl get pods, no pod should be, yeah. Okay. So next concept is called your node selector. What is node selector? What is the node selector concept here? Okay. It is clear as per his name, node selector. Okay, we are selecting here that particular node in which we are going to schedule our pod. Okay, so node selector is the simplest recommended form of node selection constraint. Okay, we can add the node selector field to your pod specification and specify the node levels you want to target node to have. Okay, suppose I want my pod to you know schedule on that particular node, that in that particular case I am choosing that particular node, right? So in that case we are using the node selector concept. Okay, so Kubernetes only schedule the pods onto that node that have each of the template you specify. Okay, so here we need to specify the template. Okay, template means we need to assign the label to that particular node. Let me show you so that it will be clear for you. So let me show you node. Yeah, this one. So if you can see this here, my kind is your pod. Okay. So we are creating here pod. Okay. And what is the label? It is your, the label is your web apps. That particular pod level is your web apps. But if you go in the spec section, okay, we are mentioning that okay, node selector size is equal to large. So this node is going to, you know, this particular pod is going to schedule that only particular node, okay, where where we have marked that particular node as a large, otherwise it is not going to schedule. So till now we haven't marked that our node as a large. So let's try to see and try to execute this YAML file. Let me execute it. Kubectl apply -f, then node selector. So definitely it will get executed and definitely pod is going to create. But what will be the state of that particular pod? It will be in pending state or in running state. Definitely it is not going to in running stage because we haven't marked our node as a large. So that's why it is not going to schedule any node here. So how you are going to mark your node as a size is equal to large? So there is a command kubectl label nodes. Okay, then which particular node you want to mark as a size is equal to large. Suppose I want to mark this one. Okay, so like that way. Okay, after that you need to mention size is equal to large. Okay, so we are marking our node as a size is equal to large. Now try to execute this command. Now you can see this immediately this pod is going to run on that particular node. How you are going to see? Run the command kubectl get pods -o wide. You can see this particular pod is running on which node? This particular node only. Got it? We have marked this particular node as a level is means level. We have defined size is equal to large. Okay. So now if you want to unlevel this particular node, run the command q. Same command you can use kubectl level. Just remove I. Now again this node is unlevel. Now it is still running. Okay, unlevel. We have already unlevel. Let me try to apply this one. Kubectl apply -f node selector. Still running. Okay. Now run the command kubectl get nodes -o wide and okay. We have already unleveled this node. To see if it is unleveled or not, kubectl get nodes so hyphen labels. Okay, so you can see this particular node is unleveled. Okay, kubectl get pods. Now let me delete it. Kubectl delete -f and node selector command. Okay, no pod is running. Let's try to up. It will going in pending state. Okay, so we haven't marked that particular node as a size is equal to large. That's why it is going to unleveled. Okay, so that is the concept behind your node selector. Okay, so node selector Kubernetes A Kubernetes node selector is the simplest way to constrain which nodes your pod can be scheduled on based on nodes based on where node levels. Okay, by using a node selector, you can ensure that certain pods run only on nodes that meet specific criteria. Okay, if my pod level is not matching, it will not schedule on any nodes anywhere, trying to schedule on level node only. Okay, otherwise it will not going to schedule. Okay, let me delete this pod. Okay, so I have explained the concept of daemon set. I have explained the concept of node selector. So now our next concept is based on node affinity. What is node affinity? Okay, that we need to learn. What is node affinity? So here required during schedule, ignore during execution is there, and prefer during schedule and ignore during execution concept is there. So what is required during schedule, ignore during execution? Let me show you cat. Okay, so the required during schedule, ignore during execution means it ensure pods are scheduled only on node matching on a specific level. Okay, if it is not going to match that particular level, okay, then what will happen? Okay, suppose this is our pod, kind is our pod, and in the affinity section we have defined required during schedule, ignore during execution. Means here we have given some conditions. Which type of condition? We are telling that my pod is going to schedule only on that particular node where the value the value should be matched the value should be matched as a medium or small. Then only my pod is going to schedule that particular node. If that particular value is not going to match, then ignore during the execution. Okay, so you can simulate the same condition like your node selector. Okay, so we are definitely giving some condition that if this particular condi condition is going to match, then only this pod is going to schedule. This is your called preferred. Node affinity preferred. Node affinity, sorry, required. What is your preferred inside your preferred? See this. So preferred preferred during schedule, ignore during execution. What is the meaning of that? Preferred nodes with specific level but can schedule pods on any available nodes if necessary. Means the priority we are assigning here, try to schedule my pod on that particular node, okay, where weight is 50, okay, or weight is 1, okay, where we are defining the values medium and small. But in that case, if both condition is not going to meet, okay, then you need to schedule my pod on any node. Okay, so the scheduler try to find a node that meets the rule. If matching nodes are not available, the scheduler still schedule the pod on any other node. Okay, this is your call preferred This is your called prefer during schedule, okay, and ignore during execution, okay. And the same case here, required during schedule and ignore during execution means it will schedule if the matching pods and nodes level only, otherwise it is not going to schedule. Here this minimum criteria need to be fulfilled, means it is must, okay, otherwise it is not going to schedule, okay. So let's try to execute one by one. So I am going to execute the first one where this particular condition should be matched. Other, let's try to kubectl apply hyphen f. Now kubectl get pods, it is going to pending stage. Why? Because here if you can see this, we are telling that at least this value should be matched, medium or small, but here nothing is matching with your nodes. That's why it is not going to schedule on that particular, any of that particular nodes. Let's try to give any value. How you are going to give how labeling concept here? Okay, so run the command kubectl label, okay, nodes, okay, just try to give the low this one, and okay, something qctl, okay, sorry, okay. Now try to see the status. We have labeled our node. Now you can see this. He find out one condition where matching condition where we have defined our value as a medium. Okay. That's why it is scheduling in this particular node. Now let's try to delete this kubectl delete hyphen f. Then you need to put this condition. Okay, so there should be no pod in the running state. Kubectl get pods. Okay, and let me try to unlabel. Okay, now let's try to run the second one. That is your called preferred. Okay, so here what we are saying that in the preferred, try to search the matching level, but if you haven't find any matching level, small or mid, no problem, schedule my pod in any of the nodes. So how you are going to run this? Kubectl apply hyphen f. You can run it now. Ideally, it should be in running state because we haven't marked my level to any of the nodes. So ideally, this pod should be in running stage and it should be scheduled any of the one nodes. So let's see this if it is scheduling or not. Kubectl get pods. Now you can see this. He tried to find out any of the particular values with the matching level of medium or small, but it is not find out that particular matching level, but he schedule that particular pod in the available nodes. Okay, I think it is clear now. Let's try to delete this pod and move forward to our next concept, kubectl delete hyphen f node affinity referred. Okay, it is deleted. Kubectl get nodes and kubectl get pods. Okay, so now let's moving to our next concept, that is your called the last one, tent and toleration. Okay, so before moving to the next concept, tent and toleration, let me tell you the, you know, the use cases where we are going to use our node affinity or node anti-affinity. Okay, so suppose we have a one application, okay, and that particular one application, I want to schedule my application on SSD nodes. Okay, means I want to control my scheduling of Kubernetes. We want to do this, okay, via we want to do this via node selector also, okay, where we can means we can put level on our nodes, okay, and we can do it. But if we want to tell Kubernetes that please schedule it on disk type SSD or HDD and not schedule on any other high CPU or means memory nodes, in that case node selector will not work. Here we need to use node affinity and node anti-affinity. Okay, you are not getting point. Let me explain you through paint also, so that it will be easy to you to understand this concept. What is the basic difference of these two? Why we are not going to choose node selector here? Okay, so let me move the next. Okay, so suppose we have one application here. Okay, so this is our application. Okay, and this is your cluster. In that cluster, you are running four nodes. Okay, and if in that particular nodes, suppose this one is your high CPU utilization is there, okay, and here high memory utilization is there, okay, and here this node is this node disk type is SDD, and this node disk type is HDD. Okay, now I want I want my application, okay, I want my application to schedule on this particular SSD type of node. Okay, means here I want to schedule, I want to control my Kubernetes. Okay, I don't want to schedule my particular application in that any other available nodes. So what I will do, we can tell Kubernetes scheduler use the node selector and select the disk type is equal to SSD. Okay, that is also good. But if we will tell Kubernetes please schedule it on SSD or HDD and not but if I want to tell Kubernetes please schedule this on SSD but not schedule any other node, not schedule on any other node. Okay, please schedule on this application on SSD but not schedule on this any other available node. Then in that case we are not going to use your node selector concept here. Okay, here we will use node affinity or anti affinity. Okay, so we can tell scheduler preference do schedule on node SSD where disk type is your sorry, do schedule on node where SSD type is SSD and disk type your SSD. Only this node I need to choose in both. Okay, and I want to schedule my Kubernetes. Okay, I want to schedule my application to this particular SSD and SSD type of node only. Okay, that is the use case. I think it is clear now. Okay, so the last concept is tent and toleration. what is the tent and toleration concept? Let me explain you. So a tent is applied to a node only. Okay, so basically we are applying tent to node. Okay, so once we apply it to tent to any node, it means that we are marking some special property to that particular certain node only. Okay, so let me explain you through paint so that you will easily understand what I want to explain it here. Okay, so suppose we have two nodes. Okay, in that particular two nodes that is running over one cluster. Okay, and we have here two pods. Okay, so these pods I want to schedule over that particular node. So if we want to schedule this particular pod to this tolerant uh, tented node, okay, these are the tented node, okay, and then this pod is only going to schedule this tented node if we will provide, if we will apply toleration here. So to schedule this pod on tented node, we need to put toleration to that particular pod. Then only in that cat situation, in that situation only that pod is going to schedule that particular node. So a taint is applied to a node to mark it as having some special property that only certain pod can tolerate. If node, so basically there are two types of taint and toleration we can apply it here. That one is no schedule and second one is no exclusive. Exclusive. Okay. So in simple way, I want to tell you that suppose if in any particular node, if we applied the tent, okay, then in that particular node, only toleration pod can only be scheduled on that particular node. No other pod is going to schedule. Okay, that is the concept behind tent and toleration. So let me show you the YAML file so that it will be easy to you understand this concept. Okay, so this is our YAML file, tent and toleration. If you can see it here, okay, so the kind is pod. Okay, so this YAML file define a pod that tolerates a tent on a node. Okay, it allow the pod to be scheduled on node tented with app blue no schedule. Okay, blue no schedule. So this pod is going to schedule on that particular node where we applied the tented with app. Okay, with app where we are giving the condition blue no schedule. Okay, that is the concept. Okay, name nginx-t. What is this? The name of the pod. This is the name of the pod. What is the label? Just standard metadata. Okay, not directly related to tent and toleration, but could be used for selector or any grouping. Okay, now so basically what we are telling here, allow this pod to be scheduled on any pod tented with app no schedule. Okay, let me try to execute it. Apply hyphen F, then tent and toleration. Okay, now kubectl get PODS pods. Now you can see this pod is running. Okay, and if I but where this pod is running, let me see you kubectl get pods hyphen o wide kubectl get nodes. Okay, so it is running in this particular node. So uh, let me apply uh, to toleration on this particular node. Okay, let me apply the sorry tent on this particular node. Okay, so how you are going to apply? So you need to put some commands. Okay, so which type of command you need to put? Kubectl tent nodes, and you need to put the node name where you want to put the tent. Okay, app is equal to green. Here we need to put no schedule. Okay, so 1 minute something. It's taint. Okay, TAINT taint. So we have tainted this node. So this particular node is tainted. Okay, now let me delete it first. Kubectl delete hyphen f and this CML file. Okay, no pod is running right now. Kubectl get pods. Okay, now try to apply this ML file. Kubectl apply hyphen f tend and toleration. Kubectl get pods hyphen o wide. Now you can see this particular pod is running on this particular tented node. Okay, so currently, but it is not running this 1 minute. Qctl apply, yeah, 139, 139, 139, and okay. Now, sorry. So this particular pod is running this one only, and we have applied tented on this uh, 219 node. So if you want to run this pod in this particular tented node, then what I need to do? I need to tolerate this particular pod. Okay, how you are going to tolerate this part? That I need to you need to put some toleration concept here. Let me put it here. Okay, now you can see this kubectl get bytes. This particular pod is running on this. Let me show you where we have applied the tented. Okay, so we have applied tented on this node. Okay, okay, so we have just untented it, right? Where it is the command tented. Okay, yeah, this way here. So we have applied tented on this 219 IP, and this particular pod is running basically we have applied no schedule, so this particular no particular pod is going to schedule in this particular node except the means the pod which we have marked as a toleration. Okay, so this is the overall story of all the schedulers. Hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, I will make the next part so that you will be easily understand the concept of tent toleration. The concept behind tent and toleration is that suppose I want to put my node in maintenance window. Okay, so in this case we will put the we will apply to tented our particular node so that only the specific condition, specific pod is going to schedule to that our tented node. That is the purpose behind of tent and toleration. Okay, so on that particular tented node, only toleration pod has been scheduled. No other pod is going to schedule on that particular node. Okay, no schedule, no exclusive. Like two types of tents are there, which we can apply it over node. It's basically applied. We are applying it over nodes. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. So I will present some more videos. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.